Well, thank you very much already for this afternoon and for yesterday. When the ALD was considering how to mark the 50th anniversary of the organization, and indeed you could almost say the 50th anniversary of lighting design being recognized as an integral creative part of the performance, the president of the ALD, Richard Pilbrow, suggested a new type of honor that would look beyond our membership to those who had inspired us from around the world. It was unanimously agreed that the first person to receive the International Fellowship should be Jennifer Tipton. She is without a doubt one of the most influential lighting designers today. Her career spans all major types of performance, from dance, for which she is best known for recently, to opera and to theater. She is influential not only because of the excellence of her work, but also her clear vision of the importance of light in performance, and her dedication and generosity in sharing that vision with so many in the profession. Through her work as an adjunct professor at Yale University, she has trained many of the leading lighting designers for the past 30 years. Jennifer has used her unique affinity for light to transform productions in ways both subtle and forceful, heightening the theater experience for both audiences and performers alike. She has said that 99 9/10% of the audience is not aware of the lighting, though 100% is affected by it. Like her work, Tipton is an unseen master working her magic behind the scenes. Many of theater's top talents have recognized the power of Tipton's work and have trusted their productions to her. She has maintained long alliances with choreographers Paul Taylor, Twyla Tharp, Dan Wagner, Robert Joffrey, Elliot Feld, Mikhail Baryshnikov, Jerome Robbins, Jerry Killian, and Dana Reitz. Among the directors she has worked with in the theater, they include Mike Nichols, Peter Sellers, Robert Wilson, Richard Jones, Tim Aubrey, Joan Akalaitis, and Elizabeth Lecomte. And I'm sure I've forgotten as many as I've noted. The New York Times has said of her work, "There are perhaps a dozen lighting designers in the country who work steadily enough to support themselves by their art, and maybe half a dozen who are acclaimed and in demand. Among these is Jennifer Tipton, characterized most often for the impeccability of her taste and a certain precision and cerebral quality to her work." In another article, the New York Times quotes Jennifer as saying, "As with all of us, I formed the basis for many of my choices early in my working life, and often find myself falling back on the same choices. That is, many of the, in quotes, words or light ideas in the vocabulary of each new language are the same as in all the other productions. But I do try to stimulate myself to find new ideas first of all by exploring many forms of theater, and secondly by striving to make each new language in some way unique to the production. Once the language is conceived, I'm able to go into the theater and use the words to make sentences, phrases, paragraphs, the light that tells the story." She goes on to say, "I am a very formal person, probably personally, though I don't stand much on formality, and certainly in my art. The story that light tells must have a structure, a shape, a form that allows the audience to understand intuitively without having to figure it out. There is never time for that. The choices that I make about this form, how it will be established, and how and when it will be interrupted or changed or broken, are for the most part intuitive and therefore difficult to articulate, but they are strong in me. This form functions as a guiding principle, not a rule that says that a certain kind of light is necessary and therefore cannot be changed under any circumstance. Actually, I love working in this dirty art of theatre, where there are other people who have opinions about how it should look and who have artistic needs that must be fulfilled by the light. Every demand from a director or a choreographer is simply a challenge that causes me to bend the language to a new use or idea. Because there is a structure underlying the light, any modification at the request of someone else sends ripples throughout the whole piece, often making other changes necessary, always making me ask questions of myself and my own form. The use of color is key to a lighting designer's craft. I am constantly reminded as I watch the light change from the brilliance of a sunny morning to the early dusk of a winter afternoon, how much color there is in natural, so-called white light, and how much variety in color can be made by simply brightening and dimming a light. Sitting in a room at the Tate Gallery in London, looking at the Rothko paintings, with tears running down my cheeks, I wonder how smudges of colors on canvas can touch so much deep feeling in me. It is perhaps more telling what her peers, many of whom are former students of Jennifer, say about her. Hal Binkley wrote to me, after working for Jennifer for many years, she is the only lighting designer I know that can put a kiss of color in clear light and sculpt a body with shadows. She deserves this award. She is a legend of lighting design. Peter Mumford, who is chair of the ALD, and sad not to be here today due to work commitments abroad, says, "When I first came across the work of Jennifer Tipton, it was at a time when there were not so many lighting designers in the world, and the art form was relatively new and unrecognized compared to nowadays. I always used to say that she was the one designer whose work I could understand in terms of its intelligence and intention, quite apart from its beauty. She is, and has been for several decades, a leader in the field, an innovator and a huge influence on the art of lighting, not only as a great designer, but as a wonderful teacher too, able to explain and justify the thought processes behind her work." Jim Ingalls writes, "Jennifer taught me that lighting design is not casual, but rigorous. The lighting needs to have an internal logic." Congratulations to Jennifer. Don Holder had also hoped to be here today, but as happens to us all, his scheduled projects changed their dates. He says, "In my opinion, there is no one more deserving of this important recognition." Richard Pilbrow, our president, just simply says, "Inspiration in light." The numerous awards she has received already would take quite some time to mention, but let me single out a few. Her work in the theater has been recognized by 2 Tony Awards, 2 Drama Desk Awards, and many Obie Awards, including, I think, one for Lifetime Sustained Excellence. She has been the recipient of the Dorothy and Lillian Gish Prize that was established by the 2 great silent screen actresses and is awarded to a person who has made an outstanding contribution to the beauty of the world and to mankind's enjoyment and understanding of life. No small, goal for that award, I think. Prior to Jennifer receiving this award in 2001, the recipients of this award were the architect Frank Gehry, Ingmar Bergman, Robert Wilson, Isabel Allende, Bob Dylan, Arthur Miller, and Merce Cunningham. Not bad company for this dirty artist of a lighting designer. In addition, she has received a Guggenheim Fellowship, and in 2008, she was awarded a MacArthur Fellowship, which is sometimes referred to as a Genius Fellowship. Although nominees for the MacArthur Fellowship are reviewed for their achievements, this fellowship is not a reward for past accomplishment, but rather an investment in a person's originality, insight, and potential. Indeed, the purpose of the MacArthur Fellows Program is to enable recipients to exercise their own creative instincts for the benefit of human society. Again, no small task. The MacArthur's Fellowship is a no-strings-attached award in support of people, not projects, and each fellowship comes with a very, very sizable stipend to the recipient. While the ALD's 50th Anniversary Fellowship for Outstanding Achievements in Lighting Design may not quite match up to the financial munificence of these awards, please know, Jennifer, that it comes with the respect and admiration of your colleagues and fellow devotees to the magic of light on stage. It is with the greatest pleasure that I present the 50th Anniversary Fellowship for Outstanding Achievements in Lighting Design to Jennifer Tipton.